We are back in the state of Kentucky. This is the second investigation we've done in this state, but this time we're in a different part of Kentucky, northern Kentucky, up by the Ohio River. Kentucky is a great state for Bigfoots. There's a long history of reports here, and the terrain would be very helpful to them. Where you have cornfields and grass up at the top of the plateaus, then deep, thickly wooded hollows in between. In the past few months, there's been a lot of sightings, and there's a couple of guys, Tom and Rodney, who've gotten some really good track casts, or so we hear. We're gonna go check them out.
Just flying into Louisville, when I saw that topography out the window, how much thick woods and all them hollers, all the open meadows and fields in between, man, you just know this is prime squatch habitat. I'm super psyched to be back in Kentucky. Even though I don't have kinfolk here, I feel like I'm at home. I love this place. You got bluegrass music, you got moonshine, you got bourbon, and you got woods and hollers with Bigfoots in them. Man, these hollers are perfect hiding spots. You get these thick berry bushes, vines with thorns all over, and there's nobody going in there. Well, nobody's something for squatches.
Here, it's mostly flat, but then there's these deep hollows and places where there's actually more hollows than flat plateau areas. That's where the deer are up and going at nighttime, and at daytime, they're dropping down into those valleys.
And I imagine those valleys are quite steep as well in this area because we're so close to the Ohio River. We're close to where the tributaries feed into those rivers. There is a lot of food in this area that's available to Sasquatches. The deer population here is just ridiculously huge. Also, I think a key to this area is the Ohio River. And Bigfoots, as we know, always follow the rivers. And I'll tell you, man, I am feeling good. We are gonna get lucky in Kentucky.
Well, man, I know we're all excited to be back in Kentucky. We had an epic time last time. This place goes off. There's a lot of reports coming out. It seems like there's some fresh reports coming out of here.
And even more important than reports, there's evidence as well, which is why we've come back again. These guys, these investigators in northern Kentucky, apparently have a small collection of footprint casts. They're all originals, and they pulled them themselves.
Casts are not that common to be made, let alone tracks being found, so I'm curious how this one individual has so many. Do we know anything about him?
Well, keep in mind, it's Trimble County where they're getting them, next to the Ohio River. It's all muddy soil, and that's where you're gonna find tracks that are gonna be easily castable and easily identifiable. So Rodney and Tom have a better opportunity for that reason alone.
I know that he's out in the woods a lot. Apparently he's been a Bigfooter for at least a little while. We need to find more about his background, his experience, and certainly about these casts.
Everywhere we go, we investigate alleged evidence of Bigfoot's existence. Footprint casts invariably are human, animal tracks, or some natural indentation in the ground.
Pulling up into Tom's driveway,
Hey, guys.
Oh,
How's it going?
I see two good old boys. Baseball caps, a little bit of camo.
Hopefully they'll be able to offer some information that we can follow up on.
So we heard you guys got some tracks.
yeah, we got some casts to show y'all.
That's huge.
Oh, yeah.
What is that, like a 17-incher?
Look at this one.
17.
That's the biggest one I've seen in the Midwest. So they lift up the towels and show all these casts. And the first thing I'm thinking is, wow, these all look kind of different and they have different sizes. That's what you would expect if they're getting real impressions. The guys who are gonna fake things are gonna have a whole bunch of casts that look all exactly the same. These look like they really found them in the woods and they cast them. You can see the foot shape in most of these, some better than others, and a few of them are just mind-blowing.
This first cast I got in April of 2012.
That one actually came out not far from behind my house.
Yeah. It appeared like it might have slid on the side of the ridge. Considered, it would slide in the mud. Third one, we saw something standing behind a bush. But it was so thick back here, the vegetation was, we couldn't get back down there. Well, the next day I got up and I said, well, I'm gonna take my four-wheeler and go back in there. I went back into that bush and that's what I casted.
That's a beauty, man. I'd love to have one like that.
Well, the first thing that jumps out to me is the toe placement, of course. But Sasquatches have such flexibility in their feet that this configuration is fairly common in the data set of casts. I love that all 5 toes are visible. I mean, the last 2 are a little bit lost, but that pinky's not, which is really nice. And also, if you look very closely, the toes are actually impressed more deeply than the ball of the foot itself. All of these things are really nice indicators of a very likely real Sasquatch print. I can tell that Tom's been Bigfooting a long time because he casts footprints that most other Bigfooters wouldn't. And this one here is an excellent example. Most people would look at that and say, oh, there's nothing there. But he cast it, and it's a good thing he did too, because right there on one of the toes, dermatoglyphics. Fancy word for fingerprints, basically. Primates have dermatoglyphics and no other animal does. This thing was made by a primate. What's the most recent activity either of you are aware of in this area?
Well, these are 2 days old.
Oh, they're hiding them till the last minute. Wow.
Still wet, kind of.
Look at that.
That's a beautiful cast.
Look at that. Nothing about it throws red flags to me that these are faked.
With these prints here, we also had a bluff charge.
A couple of days ago, you had a bluff charge.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, we're in the right spot.
A large predator like a Bigfoot will make its presence known if people are intruding too deep in its territory. Usually it'll do it by screaming, but sometimes if you get too close, they'll charge through the brush and trees but stop short, and that's called a bluff charge. That means we're in a pretty good area for some Bigfoot action.
Can you get us into that location?
Get you close into it.
Nice, because that's definitely a spot we need to look around.
Well, what I know is that 2 days ago, there were these tracks that you cast when you got a bluff charge. Perfect place for our first night investigation.
No responses to the wood knock, so it's time to go to the A game. Bust out that Ohio howl.
Sure, why not?
All right, listen, Cliff says he can try an Ohio one from here.
Copy, we'll listen.
Haven't heard Cliff in Ohio in years.
Good one.
There's a little bit of Bobo in all of us.
Ooh, did you guys just hear what sounded like a knock? There's something over here. There's something over here. Come on, come on. We got something over here. It got pretty close, man.
Where? Point?
That direction.
That's where I heard it too.
Renee for Matt?
Yeah, Renee, it's Matt. What's up?
We're not hearing anything, just checking in with you guys.
This knock that we heard would have been less than 100 feet away. And I'm thinking, yeah, it could have been a deer, but, you know, would a deer be coming toward us after Cliff did that long Ohio howl? You know, but there's something not far.